Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap Futures Morning Leap session for Friday, November the 16th, 2018. My name is Doug McKay. I'm the founder of Quantum Leap Futures. Each morning we get together in these live go-to sessions to take a look at the market macro to micro, take a look at the structure of the market, and then we drill down to our trade levels, our targets, and our hypotheses for the day. Our hypotheses are our trade plans. We do create multiple trade plans. We do not know what the market's going to do. Therefore, we create multiple scenarios, wait for the market to open up, see who takes control, and then execute the plan that best suits the market. This is a subscription room. If you're interested in checking it out, send me an email at Quantum Leap Futures. There's no website, there's no blog. This is not a commercial venture. We do everything live here in the go-to, and then we do live trading and analysis during the course of the regular trading hours. Please read through the disclaimer. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own due diligence, your own trade plan, and your own risk metrics. Reviewing yesterday, again, a perfect example of two things. One, the book was extremely thin. In fact, it was in the late afternoon. It was the thinnest I've seen it, I think, in my career. I mean, it's not often you see during a regular trading session outside of a news release, coming up into a news release, or into a holiday session, that you will see under 100 contracts on the book resting. And we had that going on yesterday afternoon. Although the volume itself, was definitely above normal. We had, I think, 1.57 million contracts traded. It was still a big volume day, within normal capacity, slightly larger. The other thing is we saw multiple hypotheses carried out. So our main hypothesis, when we did the session yesterday in the morning, we were trading up in here. Before we started, we moved down a little bit lower. We actually opened up, just inside of range, but definitely outside of volume. Our main hypothesis was a move up into the 2700s to the 2707 area, find sellers, and get the continuation and rotate us down towards the year open at 75 and a quarter, where we were looking to base and find buyers and rotate us back up into the prior day value and go sideways. So basically, we completed Hypo 1 here. Hypo 2 was a open auction in range, a move down into the 86 to 80 area, and then rotate us up through and come up here and go sideways into the end of the session in value, just chopping between the 2700 and the 2720. That was Hypo 2. So, and then Hypo 4 was a take back day and a push up and a move up into this daily upside ATR back towards the microcomposite VPOC at 2750 and get continuation. We were looking for continuation up into the 43, 45 area. We didn't quite get there, but I mean, we did get the continuation. A lot of distribution. A really big LVN right here at the 2711 area. This is going to become our over underline today. We just dipped below it and went down to the 875 and then popped right back up in the Globex. So I mean, we're just stuck in the overall bigger balance, but we'll get to that in just a minute. Let's take a look at the economic news for the day. We've got capacity utilization, industrial production, month over month and year over year, and manufacturing production month over month coming up in 20 minutes. At 11 o'clock, we've got the KC Fed Composite and Manufacturing Index. 11:30, we've got Chicago Fed Evans speaking. 1 o'clock, we've got the rig count. And that's about it for the big new economic news. Now remember that we got all this Brexit and stuff coming out of Britain, and of course what's moving the market and what moved the market yesterday. And we have a return to the scene of the crime at 2675 is that tariff news. And of course, it was going to be increased. Then it wasn't going to be increased. It was just all over the place yesterday. As far as earnings go, I don't think there's any major earnings today. Yeah, there's only four before the open. JD.com. So there's nothing really in terms of news. Now, it is options expiration. It is the third Friday, and this is OPEX. So there is going to be some options expiration stuff going on. So just be aware of that. They're likely to make some weird moves near the mid-afternoon. So just keep that in mind. Taking a look at the macro, I always do the same thing every day without fail. I start with a monthly, and I start working my way down. I use a candlestick chart with a 9 EMA, 20 SMA. All I'm doing is seeing where are we in terms of the trend. How strong is the trend? Do we have good slope, good separation? Is price paralleling the 9 nicely? Or are we challenging the 9 and the trend? Or are we violating the trend and possibly new trend change with the break of the 9 and the 20? You can see beautiful upward trend on the monthly. We've challenged the trend. We have not violated it, and we're currently just stuck right in between the 9 and the 20. Remember that our month open is 2706. So right now we're looking at a doji month. It's still early in the month, but something to keep aware of is that we're fighting the 2706 and whether or not this is going to be a positive or a negative month. And we're in that big time balance, in around that 2750. Going to the weekly showing a little bit of a different story. We're seeing the possibility of a trend change. We've broken below the 9 and the 20, and we're failing to get back above the 9, and could get the continuation and the start of this trend down on the weekly. On the daily, same thing as the weekly. We're below the 9 and the 20, but again, they keep coming up and trying to get back above the 9 and the 20, and we still have the 9 above the 20 right now. It has not crossed back below it yet. So we've got the potential of a start of a downward trend, and we have to be cautious of that fact. But we're certainly seeing two-sided trading the last few days where they just battle this. In terms of the 4-hour, we have solid downward trend. Then they try to take it back in yesterday's session, and in 2 days ago, and then we've been coming back down, and we've got a MA kiss going on where we've got the. Excuse me for 1 second. Sorry about that. We've got a 9 and the 20 kissing right now. So we are at a decision point, and this could resolve itself in either direction. Just always keep in mind when we see these potential crosses that is not an indication of weakness or of strength. It's an indication of indecision and a battle going on, and that's exactly what we're seeing right now. Is a big time battle. Going to the 30-minute. Basically the same thing. We're just trying to get back above the 9. We just have to close back above the 9, and we're in between the 9 and 20. So we're right in the battle zone right now, and this is why we're seeing such big wide rotations, is neither side has been able to take control and hold on, okay, for the continuation. So when we take a look at this in the structure of things, of course, the big balance is around this microcomposite right here, which is basically our yearly composite, and our year microcomposite VPOC is right here in the 2750 area, 27 and a quarter area, and we've chopped back and forth around it, okay, from since we broke down from going back and putting a new all-time high in. We came down. They found buyers down here in the prior area. They came up. They chopped around. They accepted this value, and then they gapped up. And then they tried to hold inside of this value, and were unable to. We come right back down. We balanced for a couple days here. They pushed through to test the lower end of the value area down here. Remember that the year open is 26.75 and a quarter, and they bounce off of there, and we come up. Now, yesterday I was showing if you put a profile from the breakdown day and combine all of these profiles, that the microcomposite VPOC was up above us at the 7150 in this balance zone, and we still had value above us. Well, now that if I move this and include yesterday, that's shifted down. So now here we are with value coming down and into the longer time balance. So again, nothing really changes except for the fact that it's going to be a telling sign if we cannot get back above this 27.30 area, because that's going to be sellers cutting off the buyers, and we're likely to see some more continuation. If we get above the 27 and a quarter, except this 32, then that trip to the key line and sand above, and the other side of this distribution is up here in the 51. And that's what we're going to be looking for in that particular circumstance. We still have this LVN here at the 2707. You can't disregard it, but I've shifted my key line in the sand from the 07 to the LVN overnight because there's a very prominent LVN, and we're still seeing a lot of battle in this area. Levels to pay attention to, of course, the 22 to 27 area. Now you can actually extend that 22 to the 32 area, 2710 to 2707. And then the 2-day VPOC is right here at the 0350. And that's going to be an important level for us to hold today. Because if we don't hold that, a trip down through to the value area low in our key line in the sand below, which is still down in the 2693 area. And anything below that, I think we're going to have extension to the low side and will not bounce again off of the 75 level. That's my own personal opinion. Doesn't mean that that's going to be the case. But those are the levels, the big picture levels you want to pay attention to. The overnight inventory is definitely net short. It is risk off right now. And, we were making our move down, and then we had this nice bounce. And here we see these huge rotations, coming into look at the size of the rotations all night long. Okay, pretty normal rotations. And then we get the breakdown in the European session, and they come down, and then all of a sudden, look at the OTF come back in. We have huge volume coming in. They can't keep it below the LVN from the overnight session, and now we're rotating it back up again, We've kind of filled in this LVN now, so I'll have to take a look at this. It's still pretty prominent though right here from yesterday, uh, the LVN from the upper distribution once we did break back above. So in terms of levels, our overnight high is at 36. Is it 36 even? Yes, it is. And our overnight low is 875. We're in this low volume area right now. VPOC is not likely to shift. VPOC is the 27, 29. Is it 29.75? No, 29 even. And I have to put a trade area right here at that 32 I was just talking about. Okay, so, and our overnight low. So based on the overnight low, our upside daily ATR target is up here at the 65 and a quarter. Our downside daily ATR target is down at the 79.50. Our key line in the sand above is 51. Our key line in the sand below is 93. And our over underline is going to be this 27.12. It's actually 11.75, but I'm just going to expand this out so it covers this basically what is a fairly decent LVN. So we're currently going to open up. They found some buyers with OTF activity. That kind of changes my my hypotheses, because we are seeing these buyers now being a little bit more aggressive this morning. So my hypos are going to have equally weight in terms of hypo 1 and hypo 2. And I actually was going to have hypo 1 as a continuation down. Now I'm going to flip it. And I'm going to flip it to a move back up to test that 51. So hypo 1 equally weighted with hypo 2 is an open auction in range, maybe just outside of value or just inside of value. This is a pretty ugly value area. I'm not going to put a lot of weight on the value areas, but the value area low is at the range low, and the value area high is at those two microcomposite VPOCs at the 20 and the 22. But I'm looking for an open auction in range. I'm looking for a move down into the 27.11 to 27.04. I'm looking for buyers to step in, rotate us up, take out the range high, and push up into that 51, and then either just push through or fail to break through, rotate back down, and close again somewhere in this upper distribution and around the yearly microcomposite VPOC at 27.50. That is hypo 1. Equal weighted for hypo 2 is an open auction in range, a push up to take out the overnight high, try to break out, get a false breakout, and somewhere between 36 and 44, I'm looking for sellers to step in, rotate us down into the 27.11, fight this LVN, and then break and push down through into the key line in the sand below at 93 and this lower distribution, and chop down here, down around yesterday's VPOC that did not shift up into the close. So that is hypo 2. Hypo 3 and hypo 4 are getting also flipped around, and for hypo 3, which was going to be a continuation down, becomes a take back or continuation up from the move yesterday, whichever you want to call it. But an open auction in range, a open test drive down to the 11-12 area, leaving the overnight low alone, and then buyers take control early, rotating us up into the 51 and then breaking above the 51 and pushing up into the 62 to 65 area. That is my hypo 3. Maybe a late day probe to come up into the week open. Now, we're on a Friday, okay? Our week open is 27.78.75. One session, 27.78.75. One session ATR is 56.47, so we take the 56.47 off of the open. And our critical mass, our weekly critical mass down is going to be 27.22 and a quarter. So right here, see if I can, again, it's very congested in this area. So our weekly critical mass and it's a down target, but it doesn't really matter because the up doesn't really come into play. Our critical mass is at 22 and a quarter. What does that mean? It means that if we're below this 22 and a quarter coming late in the day, there's little probability that we'll actually end up with a positive week. So the buyers could capitulate and we could see a liquidation break into the close. Just keep that in mind. It is options expiration. We are seeing huge ranges. So, critical mass might play out. It might not play out because of the type of environment that we're trading in. But that's something to keep an eye on. And then Hypo 4 is an open test drive, failed to break above the 36.75, a push down into the 93, break the 93, and then push through and fail and come down here. And the target's going to be down here in the 26.50 area. And those are my 4 main hypotheses. Again, not going to do gold today because we're running late, and we're just going to just concentrate on the ES today because of the amount of range. It's not easy trading, but it's trading where if you just be very, very cognizant of your risk, there is some opportunity here to put decent numbers up. That's going to complete our pre-market session. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.